Alright, I've been wanting to play this game for a while. We're going to see if it's good or if it's just basically a, story game with no options. See if there's a little bit of nuance to it. Let's try it out. Check the sites. Everything looks fine. And oh, that'll be spoilers, more than likely. Alright, new game. Three red and 5 black in the discard pile. Of the 6 cards face up on the counter, 2 are red and 4 are black. So 5 red in all and 9 black. You have no more moves. So you have to bet now. Let's go with red card. With so many black cards drawn, it feels natural to choose red. Number should be on your side. Even though you've already chosen, you decide to stay away from the counter. You can't bear losing again. I wonder if I can... if I try to mute sound, I'll probably not hear a sound in the game. So we'll just keep dealing with this. You think of your grandma, Elsie, trying to win at solitaire for over 60 years. Take a deep breath and keep sweeping. Elsie's been paralyzed from the waist down since she was 21. Your mom was only 2 months old. Let's take a look and see. Settings. Message speed. Effects volume. Master volume. I have a feeling if I mute effects volume, then we're going to miss out on some things in the game there. I don't think it's going to be high on the effects, but that typing noise, gotta wait for it before I start reading, I feel like. The winter Elsie taught you to play solitaire. Your parents and sister had been dead for almost a year, and you'd already begun to forget their faces. Although you cook for her, do her laundry, bathe and even dress her, it still feels like she's the one taking care of you. You close your eyes and almost feel Elsie stroking your hair. You're 11 years old again, kneeling next to her bed, crying your heart out. Suddenly the bell rings and you feel an invisible force trying to drag you into the present. Let's look. Those bleeping kids. The first brat is followed by 2 more. They step on the hose and activate the bell for a second and a third time. You don't know what comes over you, but you yell some things at them that you're too ashamed to remember. Probably, get off my lawn. You justify yourself thinking that they might be the ones who got in your garage that night. And stole some parts of the replica machine gun you're building. You won't let anyone mess with your project. The wine and steam machine gun is the jewel of your collection. The kids yell at you, old freak, and laugh, sheltered by the distance. Deep down you know that it can't be them. How would they know which parts of the machine gun were worth stealing? Anyway, that guard dog's being brought over in a few days, and you'll be able to stop worrying. Let's check the hose. You think about what someone told you at the bar, about replacing the hose with a thicker one, so that it could only be activated by the weight of a car. And what happens if the kids jump with their bikes and land on top of the hose of one of the wheels, you asked? Kids are always going to find some way to bust your balls, they replied. Let's go back in. You try to calm down. You look at the shelves and think of the solitaire your grandma taught you. Your grandma always said that everyone has their place in the world. And that people keep dancing around it without ever reaching it. To win this solitaire, you have to stop dancing. You know that the chances of winning are incredibly low. Almost zero. You can't bring yourself to turn over the next card and decide to start sorting the shelves instead. Doing simple jobs builds up your self-confidence. And provides you some illusion of control. They all kind of look the same. Let's go with the middle shelf. And we will take that bottle. I think we're going to sort it probably. Okay, so let's replace on the upper shelf. We'll take the box. And then we'll replace something from the lower shelf. We'll replace the bottle. Actually, we'll the can. Okay, now we'll put the can. Oh, this is like definitely a puzzle. All right. All right. Now let's take the box and replace it with the bottle. Check the shelves. This will make them happy, all organized. Good. One type of product on each shelf. Could probably mix it up. One would like break his brain a little bit. Oh, who's this? You scratch your head. This time sorting the shelves doesn't help. You feel the same urgency as before and you can't think of anything else. Is the card going to be read? You need it to be read. Suddenly, the air seems heavy, and you find it a bit difficult to breathe. 3 men in black are staring at you. Through the window, you see a black Cadillac by the pump. Yes? You wish you'd asked them how they got into the station without you hearing the door open. Or how they left the car there without the bell ringing. But that trembling yes was the only thing you managed to utter. Man, the moose. The moose? After a few seconds of not receiving any response, you decide to break the silence. What's up with the moose? You bought a woman a whiskey. You don't know if it's the right move, but you try to relax and be more friendly. Do you know of a more effective way to socialize? You told her the dream about your grandma. A chill runs through your body. It's been a few weeks since that night. And even though you had a good time with Martha and have no regrets, something about the way these men in black ask their questions makes you uneasy. What? What do you want to know? Granny in the forest. One of the men farther back lets out a cracking noise. Wonder if I should do voices for these guys. You look at him believing he's laughing, but the man in black's expression doesn't change. Let's just be weird, start telling him about our dream. My grandma has been bedridden for over 60 years, but in the dream I saw her running through the woods. Start from the beginning. And don't omit any details. You don't know if it's the way they look at you or because of a certain authority in their voice, but you tell them everything about the dream. Five or 6 weeks ago, you woke up in the middle of the night certain that something had happened to your grandma. You ran up to her room and Elsie wasn't in bed. The window was wide open. You ran to it and saw someone walking through the trees. It was her, and she was holding a rifle of the kind your ancestors would have carried in the Civil War. You tried to call out to her. Your grandma started running and shot 2 or 3 times into the blackness of the forest. You were about to go down to find her when a winged figure with glowing red eyes appeared in front of the window and screamed. You stumbled backwards. And after hitting your head on the bedpost, you lost consciousness. You woke up in your bed and remembered the dream almost instantly. You went up the stairs 2 at a time and opened the door to her room. Your grandmother slept peacefully. On the bedside table was the glass of milk you bring her every night, and a deck of cards she uses to play solitaire. I mean, like, if they're living together, why don't they ever play Go Fish or anything? I mean, why does it always have to be a game that you play alone? During the days that followed, you tried to convince yourself that it had all been a dream. Even though you couldn't explain where the little stitches at the base of your skull had come from. You know, it's definitely something to be worried about. After a few seconds, one of the men in black speaks again. The spots on her legs predate her birth, Holt. What? What is he talking about? Is he referring to the dozens of moles on your grandma's legs? And what do they mean by saying those spots predate her birth? Elsie always makes the same joke when you sponge her calves. Be thankful that you have to clean my legs and not my grandfather's. According to what she told you, her granddad had been shot dead by an experimental weapon early in the Civil War when his legs were ripped to shreds. The winding steam gun, son. A machine gun that doesn't appear in any book. You think about the replica you were putting together in the workshop, and you wonder if it was the men in black who had stolen those pieces. You're not telling anyone else about this visit, Holt. You start to complain when one of the men in black picks up a card from the counter. The top card of the deck! The crunch horrifies you. I mean, we do have beef jerky. The teeth of the man in black seem to tear more than simply paper. Yeah, well, they're tearing through the card, too. And he throws it in the air. Desperate, you throw yourself under the counter and look for the card. Your heart is pounding. Well, do I have to do something here? You look out the window and you don't see the Cadillac. You walk to where the car was parked a few moments ago. You step on the hose. And the bell rings. What the? Jack of diamonds? Red, I knew it. You think about the edge one of the men in black tore off. I wonder if this, because this guy's a gas man, if I should try to do like a Hank Hill voice with him. And you remember the noise he made when he chewed it. Was it a threat? A warning? You wonder if you should tell your grandma everything that happened, or just keep your mouth shut. This guy looks pretty old too, so I wonder how old his grandmother is. And keep playing solitaire with a marked card. Very eerie. Lee. What's wrong? Oh, this guy's got a flat top. I think he'd be a bit more, tough guy sounding. Like maybe Surfer. I told you it's nothing. That damn pause again. There's something she's not saying. The Mustang purrs. You shake your head, feeling sad inside. Let's just turn this music down here. I guess that's the car rumbling. Let's just do that too a little bit. There we go. The sound of an engine hides no secrets. Lee, you're right. You bite your lip and sigh. Why is everything so damn hard? Victoria settles into her seat. Let's start over, okay? Where are we going? Do you remember the silent treatment? You're just, Oh, let's answer the question. It's a surprise. Yeah, that's not a good voice. It's a surprise. Please? No, Vic. Have some patience. You'll never forget this night. I'm Duke Nukem. Victoria giggles and you think this is the best gift in the world. For a moment you forget all the previous discussions, your obsessions. A giggle, a friendly gesture, making someone feel good ain't rocket science. You look at the clock and you can't believe your eyes. You left your house on time, but you're pretty late. How could you step on the gas? I still think this music's a hair too loud. I keep doing it separately, sorry. There you go. Lee? Lee? You scratch the side of your head. Wow, you really hate being told how to drive. Lee? Why doesn't she just tell you to slow down? You take your foot off the gas. Thanks. You're trying your best. You really think Victoria could be the one? The one. Your dad once said the perfect woman doesn't exist. Couples form when people get tired of looking and just give up. You remember your mother's rants, all those women's names she rattled off as if they were part of an endless grocery list. You won't end up like him. Anything but that. You try to smile and force yourself to be more cheerful. You want a clue? Yes. Victoria looks into your eyes and you feel a warmth on your face that takes you by surprise. You felt the same thing the first time you saw her in college. You keep looking at her for a few seconds that seem like forever. What? Do I have a booger? Way to kill the mood. Where? You can't help laughing out loud and have a hard time containing the urge to kiss her. Well, these guys have a corny relationship. Let's go with myth. One would be a source of superstition, but we're talking thousands. A source of superstition? A black cat? Victoria looks at you expectantly, desperate to be right. Cold. Let's go with the origin. It comes from far away. Victoria makes a gesture for you to complete the sentence. You just shrug. It comes from far away. Well, this writing is blowing me away. I mean, that could be anything. Guess then. The circus? Freezing cold. Give her a clue with the date. It happened 100 years ago. Victoria answers almost immediately. After all, you're both majoring in history. The end of the Civil War? No, not in 1865. I mean exactly 100 years ago, Vic. Oh, let me think then. You're running out of time. I noticed in that last frame he had kind of like the people's the people's eyebrow going on. You're running out of time. There was the cholera outbreak in 1866, right? No! How twisted do you think I am to set up a date themed around a cholera outbreak from a century ago? Victoria laughs and hits you on the shoulder. You chuckle and act like it hurt. No, Vic, just give me a minute. You won't guess it unless... You reach out to open the glove box and Victoria grabs your wrist. Better leave it to me. Victoria opens the glove box and examines its contents. A folder, a box, a flashlight. What are you looking for exactly? Just look at the flashlight under it. A book. 1966 Shelby Mustang? The car handbook? No, not that. What else? Let's try the folder. Victoria opens the folder and examines the documents. Some papers, insurance details. Do you want me to read some of this? You shake your head. Tell her to look in the box. What's in the box? Victoria takes out the box and opens it. Let's see what you've been hiding. You think about saying something, but you instantly regret it and keep your mouth shut. Spare change, a lighter, a pack of cigarettes. Nothing to worry about, I reckon. Keep looking, please. Tell her to see if there's something more. Already got everything out. 1 second, there's this too. The clearly obvious thing on the far left. Victoria stretches out her hand and you finally grab the map you wanted. It was folded against the bottom of the glove box. You start talking and Victoria interrupts you. Hold that thought while I put everything back. You put the map on the dashboard while Victoria puts away the folder, the box, and the flashlight. Wouldn't it be funny if this was a minigame, you just gotta put it back in. Vic, you know I like it tidy in there. Ha, very funny. Vic flicks through the book she found. Red Badge of Courage? Haven't you read this book 1,000 times already? You know she's testing you. Vic knows exactly why you carry it everywhere. The novel that portrays the era you're obsessed with like no other. What the hell is this? Suddenly you remember you're using the pencil sketch that Victoria drew of you in one of your classes as a bookmark. A sketch she begged you with tears in her eyes to destroy, and you swore already you had. You already had, sorry. Uh-oh, busted. Vic, I'm sorry. I swear. Watch out! You swerve to avoid a shake in the road. Victoria looks back. Lee? We almost ran that thing over. You put your hand on Vic's shoulder, trying to reassure her. Victoria points ahead. Just keep your eyes on the road, please. She's doing it again, telling you how to drive. Well, I mean, you almost ran over something. At least this time she came right out with it, instead of just saying, Lee, disapprovingly. You try to control yourself, but it's hard. It's not just this last thing, but the buildup of all the small gestures. You take the map and throw it on her lap. Victoria raises her arms in disbelief. The Leonids, Victoria. We're going to have dinner watching the Leonids. I hope that's how you pronounce it. Victoria says nothing. Forgive me for trying to arrange the perfect date. This guy's kind of a wiener. You try to keep silent, but you can't hold it in. A meteor shower. A phenomenon associated with the passage of the Temple-Tuttle comet every 33 years. Victoria keeps staring ahead. She's probably bored. In 1866, there was one of the most spectacular meteor showers ever recorded. I saw some lithographs in a library. Victoria doesn't even move. Everyone makes a wish on a shooting star. Imagine how many wishes you can make with thousands of stars shooting through the sky. Victoria settles in her seat. You know what, Lee? Shut up. You've never heard that tone before from her. Just keep quiet until we reach. She pauses as she examines the map you threw on her lap. Holt Station? You feel your heart pounding. Your hands are shaking. That's what she wants. For you to keep quiet? For you not to say a goddamn word? Your hands grip the wheel tight, all the preparations you made for tonight. Your friend Freddy had worked out the ideal place to see them in all their splendor, away from the city lights. And when you noticed Holt Station was inside the area, you didn't hesitate. But now Vic had ruined it. Okay. Just sound like the most dysfunctional couple ever. What the blame? Something hits the Mustang's antenna. What the hell's that? Stop, Lee, stop! Just because, you know, we're dysfunctional, let's not agree. Don't stop the car. For some reason you don't understand, you speed up. Slow down! Lee, please! Lee! Lee, I'm pregga! Victoria's words make no sense. The Mustang hits the edge of the road, flipping the car over spectacularly. Oops. Neither of you survive. I didn't know there was game overs. Alright, let's retry. Okay, stop the car. You slam on the brakes. Instinctively, you put a hand in front of Victoria to keep her from hitting the windshield. I think I would have preferred it, though. It was like the old Sierra games where it actually shows something, you know? Make you, like, want to kind of see what happens with all the mistakes you can make. You get out of the car and find a dead bat in front of the headlights. The animal had hit the antenna and somehow gone tangled. You can't believe it. What are the odds of something like this happening? Don't bats have some advanced echolocation system like a submarine sonar? What starts as a simple grunt in your throat emerges as a helpless scream. This is what I get for trying to do something different? We should have gone to the movies. Lee, Vic's whispering. Doesn't take long to see why. Ooh. Over there. The coyote is watching you from where the dark of the forest meets the light of the moon. Vic, we got this. Somehow I don't believe that. It's not interested in us. You point to the dead bat. They're scavengers. You hear a growl that quickly multiplies. Ho 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 ho! Suddenly you're surrounded. It's not the first time you faced coyotes in the woods, but you aren't taking any chances. So, you know, Lee's kind of had face downs with groups of coyotes before. When I say, run to the car as fast as you can, you try to recall all the advice you've heard for situations like these. Make lots of noise, wave your arms around. One of the coyotes in front of you approaches. Let's try yelling and gesturing first. Well, I wonder if we yell at the other side, will we get eaten by the closer one? Let's try that first. Let's go to right. Yeah, okay. The coyote closest to you leaps forward with a savage bite. Encouraged by your screams, the rest of the coyotes soon join the feast. Retry. Alright, this seems pretty obvious here. One of the coyotes in front of you approaches. Yell and gesture. Okay, yell at the coyotes on this side of the car. I'm assuming we're looking at the top view, so that would be to my left here. Let's try that one. Yeah, okay. Another coyote advances. You look into its watery, bloodshot eyes. Yell and gesture. And we'll yell at the one in the center. Okay. Yell and gesture. This is like one of those old title games that you had on your watch. Tato, whatever they're called. Shit. 3 coyotes advance at once. Yelling or waving your arms around won't be good enough this time. Well, let's try it one more time, anyway. No, it's probably just going to be the same ending again. Let's bang on the hood. Nice. The trick seems to work, and all coyotes back down. No coyote advanced this time. It's your chance to go on the offensive. Let's throw a stone. You crouch down and find 4 stones. You pick them up. Yeah, let's throw it. And we'll throw it at that far away guy here. Clunk. Alright. Let's clear up the left side here. On the other side. Okay. I wonder if we leave a coyote on one side or the other, if that means that that person's going to get eaten. Well, we'll see, I guess. We're selfish, so let's get rid of the cars on our side. And we will do the one in the center. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that worked good. Oh, that worked out good, sorry. Run to the car. No! You get into the car, close the doors, and Victoria starts laughing. Although you know the reaction is more adrenaline than anything else, you start laughing too, and then kiss her. You start up the car, and the V8 roars into life. You resume the trip. After a few wordless minutes, you suddenly remember something. Holt! Vic? We're going to Holt's gas station. Victoria starts whistling. The doubts, the fears, everything seems a bit ridiculous now. You think about the plans you made for tonight and smile. You really like to hear her whistle. Victoria! We just do the exact same scene again, just from her half. Lee turns off the car and looks you in the eye. He smiles. And that smile seriously pisses you off. Let's tell him. Before you can open your mouth, Lee taps you on the leg. Wait here, Vic. I swear you won't believe it. You bite your lip and take a deep breath. You see him greet someone. Holt? Lee had written Holt Station on the map he'd thrown on your lap 20 minutes ago. He'd written it by hand, and it might as well have said Hort Station or Halt Station. Hell Station, even. Lee's handwriting has always been intriguing to you. Well, now we know that Lee is studying to be a doctor, probably. You remember that time you mentioned it to him, and he responded with a disproportionate anger. A nonsensical rant which involved several philosophers of language. And all because you told him his handwriting was dreadful. But you now know where those reactions come from. That night you two got drunk by the lake. Lee told you that his father would have wanted to be born ugly. After the initial surprise, you couldn't stifle a belly laugh, and Lee looked down. For a few minutes, he didn't want to tell you anything else. You finally convinced him to continue. I always got what I wanted just by smiling. Ugly people have to develop other muscles. Like what? Unfortunately, those other muscles are the ones that last. Are we talking about like tongues, pectorals, deltoids, or something else? You couldn't believe those words had come out of the mouth of a flesh and blood human being. Maybe some poorly written character from a cheap romantic novel, but Lee's father? You picture Lee that night throwing pebbles from the shore while telling you everything about his father's teachings. All that frustration. Was that the night you got pregnant? You'd both been drinking. Suddenly you find it difficult to breathe. The interior of the car feels like it's getting smaller and smaller. You need some air. Yeah, let's talk. Say hi. Holt, right? Holt seems startled. Hello. This is Victoria, my girlfriend. Be right back, Vic. You see them walk away with a box they took out of the trunk. And from the effort Holt's putting in, it seems heavy. What's inside the box? You're not stupid. You know that Lee has some business on the side beyond his work as an intern at the university. You hear some rumors and you have your suspicions. However, you never did too much digging. You preferred to keep it a mystery, something to make Lee a little more interesting. You light a cigarette. Would Lee be a good father? And the question that you still haven't had the courage to ask, would you be a good mother? The clicks repeat at irregular intervals. Small moths approach the light to get electrocuted. Is that love, Victoria? What, the moths getting electrocuted? You laugh and shake your head from side to side. You think of all the manuscripts you've torn up. You've tried poetry, drawing. History seemed like an obvious choice. You don't need any talent to be a historian. There's also not many jobs in it. Okay. Uh-oh. Hello? Just like beamed in, like Mr. Bean. The man talks to himself while holding something in his hand. Have you seen any winged creatures flying over the area yet? For a moment you think he's asking some kind of tricky question and you remain silent. However, something about him tells you that he's genuinely asking. You look at the man bathed in the shine of the streetlight, and the scene fascinates you. Surreal, some of your old friends would have said, the ones that organized poetry nights and read Lo Tremont, I guess? Excuse me, you are? Oh yes, sorry. Hill, Lou Hill. Writer. Victoria Greenberry. History student. Winged creatures, Mr. Hill? Lou, please. Can I call you Victoria? You nod. I'm looking into about a dozen reports, Victoria. I like how my voice has just changed like randomly throughout this reading. Numerous witnesses claim to have seen a human-sized winged creature flying over the area. Angels? Lou smiles, but the smile doesn't last long on his face. Look there, at the top of the trees. It won't take you long to find one. Excuse me. You aim at the area Lou just told you. Everything's blurry, so you decide to adjust the binoculars. I don't know what a diopter is, so let's do the focusing wheel first. Let's try to move it to the right. That's blurrier, it looks like. I don't know. Let's check the diopter here, whatever this is. You move the diopter to the left and notice a change in your left eye. Okay. So they match now? Is that what we just did? Okay, let's try it now. Focusing wheel. Move right. Oh, I see it. I see it. What the? It was just a second, but you think you saw something up there. Was it suggestion? I don't think they're angels, Victoria. But before I tell you my theory, I need your help. Could you draw on this notebook what you just saw? Oh yeah, I think we could do it. At any other time, you'd have refused with some witty comment. But there's something about Lou Hill that invites you to play along. Is it his Drew Carey look? Or Buddy Holly, whatever his name is? The rock and roll guy? You wonder if the fact that he presented himself as a writer had something to do with it. Alright, let's draw the head. Can we look at it before? Let's just see what they all look like. No, it wasn't that. What about the alien-like head? Nope. So you're just watching us constantly drawing and erasing here. So it was that head right there. Let's go with the body. Let's try this one first. Nope. Let's go with... well, I just did that one. How did I forget that already? Human chest with huge wings. Do these not look the same, or is that just me? didn't look like any of those things. Now, whatever. Let's see. I feel like it didn't look like any of this. All right, let's go with weird bird-like legs, and then we'll do the body with yeah. So we can kind of do what we want, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Before giving it back, you write some notes further describing what you saw. Lou hadn't asked for them, but somehow they make you feel less anxious. You never felt confident about your work. I feel like none of those looked like that little, like it looked more like the top at the Christmas tree, like it was kind of triangular. None of those looked like that. Lou looks at the notebook for a few seconds that feel too long. You think about that time you showed your sketches to your art teacher and how he embarrassed you in front of the rest of the class. Mother. What? Sorry. I was talking to myself. You can't help but blush. Victoria. For once, you're glad to hear Lee's voice. For once, 2 seconds ago, well, like 5 minutes ago, you were just saying, will he make a good father and will you make a good mother? And you just state there that this is the first time that you like hearing his voice. Or like, not first time, but like you just don't like hearing his voice. You don't like him. All good? Although he seems to be talking to you, Lee keeps staring at Lou. Lou Hill, writer. Also, infatuated with your girlfriend. Lou holds out his hand. Lee Miller, historian, and stunt double for Duke Nukem. Lee walks over and puts his arms around you, his back to Lou. You know he must have been annoyed that Lou introduced himself as a writer. Although it's hard for you to admit it, you like to be hugged. You feel safe. You think you would also feel safe in your grandmother's arms or in the arms of any of the other strong women in your family. Look how big Lou's head looks in the background. But the heat of Lee's body, the hardness of his muscles. We're getting into a different type of book here. You remember all those biologicist arguments you hate so much and you can't help but smile. Biologicist? Is that a word? It's like you're cheating when nobody's looking. Come on, Vic. Let's see the surprise. Close your eyes. Let's not close our eyes. Always so nice, Vic. Lee might be insufferable, but this time you feel he's right. You walk in silence to the back of the station. So, what do you think? Lee's smile stays put. Why doesn't he lose that damn smile? A romantic dinner for two under the same meteor shower that amazed our ancestors. You instinctively put your hand to your belly, and when you realize it, you quickly put it in your pocket. You look at the dog tied to the post. Ooh, he looks violent. The dog growls into the dark. I'm just curious what kind of food they're going to get at a gas station. Chapter 3, Holt. You've known Lou Hill for a few months now. The first time you talked to him was at the Moose. Lou was looking for information about some unusual lights in the sky. Nobody would talk to him. Before going to the restroom, you went over to his table and suggested he buys people a drink first. When you got back, Lou was already talking to Rick and Stella, their tongues sufficiently loosened. Okay, so it's a diner too. Alright. Lou raised his glass in your direction and smiled. Although it wasn't you who gave him the nickname, you still feel a little guilty. Since that night, most locals refer to him as Lou Refill Hill. What do you recall about the encounter with these men in black? You smile. What does he mean? It had only been a week. Didn't they tell you not to tell anybody? You think about how to answer. You know Lou, he loves asking questions. So you're going to tell him one thing and one thing only. No follow-up questions. Let's tell him about our grandma's legs. The men in black seemed interested in my grandma's legs. Lou raises his eyebrows. One of them told me that the spots on Elsie's legs predated her birth. And now that I think about it, I think he knew my name too. It's not difficult considering the big sign outside, right? Lou's a smart man. Maybe. You change the subject. You know, if you give him a chance, he'll keep asking questions all night. Red or black? What? The card. Red. You turn over the card. It's two. Oh, it's two, but it's also red. Good. It's the solitaire my grandma taught me. No one could ever win it. Lou suddenly seems interested. And how do you play it? Let's explain it. Rules are simple. But winning, there's a reason why it's called the impossible solitaire. Let me show you. Uh-oh. Okay. The objective is to move every card from the board to the discard pile. You can move any card whose rank is one higher or one lower than the topmost card in the discard pile. So let's say there's a 5 in the discard pile. You can place either a 4 or a 6 on top of it. And remember that if there's a K in the discard pile, you can place an A. That's a king and an ace, I'm assuming. A comes after K, and the opposite is also true. So, 28 cards to move. Seems easy enough, right? Okay. So, like, does the color matter? Let's try. Oh, geez, this is tedious. Okay. Oh, that's the discard pile. Okay. So can I put the same color over top? Okay. Select a card. Okay, yeah, we want to do that one. Select a card. So if I do that, I can't do anything else, right? So either way, whatever. Okay. So I can't do anything else, so let's turn. When you're stuck, you can turn over a card from the stock to the discard pile. But to turn it over, you need to make a bet first. Black or red, which one's going to be? Lose the bet, and you lose the game. Well, okay, of course that's going to be tough. The son of a bitch is almost unwinnable. Let's say red. Yeah. Okay, so let's take this card. And we're pretty low here and everything's high, so let's say it's going to be black this time. Oh, we lose. Oh, for fuck's sakes. New game. Let's try it a couple times here. I won't narrate the whole thing, but that's a 7. Let's take this one. Select card. And I believe it'd be nice if you could do this with a mouse. I feel like I'm going to accidentally click something. Seems it's not terrible, but all right, we're stuck now. So here's where we lose, right? Turn a card over. Red. 9. Okay, perfect. So we count to 10. We can do Jack, Queen, I believe. Let's try it out. Okay, now let's do the Jack. Let's take that one. Now let's do a Queen. Now let's do a Jack again. We'll do the red one, I guess. Okay, yeah, let's do that one. Now let's take the Queen. Now let's take the king. That's over. Yeah, let's take the king. Okay, so now's where there's a ton of blacks there, cards on the thing, so let's go with the red one. Nice, and it's the same card, literally. Good. Can't do anything with that, though. Nice. Is there any sixes or sevens? Nope. Hey, we're doing okay so far, but I mean, I don't like these same numbers happening. Oh, darn. Okay, so is this just to get an achievement or something? Let's do. We'll try it one more time, just so it doesn't, totally derail the momentum of this here. All right. Let's go with the jack. Part of me. Oh, there's our bitten jack right there. Okay. Select card. Okay. So yeah, we can. I guess for resetting it, right? If you get a king, you can go straight to an ace. All right, makes sense. So let's go with. Say it's gonna be a black card. Of course. All right, let's leave the game. You hear barking from the back of the station. Trent? When they brought him in, they told me his name was Chase. It's Trent for me. You know Trent, right? From the Moose? Tall, prominent belly and a scar parallel to the growth of his beard? You laugh heartily. Lou Hill might be a bit of a pain in the ass, but no one could deny that he was good with descriptions. You think about the book he's given you. He signed it and everything. Where did you leave it? I call him Trent because he barks like Trent on Open Mic Tuesdays. Come on, let's go to the garage and see the machine gun. Kind of circus type music there. Victoria, Chapter 4. So is this his idea of a special date? Looking at shooting stars while holding your hand? Telling you his plans for the end of the semester? You can't stop thinking about the raw strength of the hug from a minute ago. Or how he scared the coyotes away by yelling and throwing stones at them. 2 seconds here. Sorry about that. You think about your friend May, all those dark fantasies she told you about. But holding hands like this, smiling and talking and looking into each other's eyes, feels like giving up, doesn't it? You know you're to blame too. Aren't you playing the perfect girlfriend role? Don't you make eyes at him? Don't you say love whenever you call him? So is this it, Victoria? Is this what you want for the rest of your life? Why don't you make up your mind just for once? You think of May again, of those women she'd claimed to know, who could solve your situation using a coat hanger. Oof. You wouldn't be the first or the last. The dog barks like a maniac and you appreciate the distraction. A mixture of guilt, anguish, and apathy takes over you. And now what? Why is he looking at you like that? With his exceptionally flat top of his head. Why doesn't he say anything? Has he asked you a question? Let's just answer anything. We'll bluff. No. No. What? The doors, Victoria, and you tell me you're not excited? You just smile. Smiling sometimes works. Freddie told me they're about to release their first album, and it seems they'll be playing in New York. And it does work. Lee keeps talking like nothing happened. Conversations in real life are nothing like those from books. Real life conversations are full of contradictions, twists and turns, repeated ideas. Are we going to see them live again then? Is this dog like right on the edge of the table barking at us while we're all thinking? Even though you try, you gradually stop listening to him. Hesitancy returns in all those questions, and the dog won't stop barking. What had been a distraction is now driving you crazy. What the hell is wrong with him? Shooting stars? Why don't you make a wish, Victoria? How about going home, covering your head with a pillow, and sleeping for 18 hours straight? You feel like crying and try to calm down. Ooh. Uh-oh. Those eyes. That creature you thought you saw in the treetops with loose binoculars. Had it been real? Not just your imagination? That big grin he's got going on there. Vic! You know what? I'm tired of it already. Exhausted. So he saw the meteor go by and he's mad now? I've been trying and trying for more than 10 minutes. Can you tell me what's wrong with you? You stay silent. You need to think. But Lee's right. It's not fair to either of you. With so much noise, it's impossible for you to concentrate. You know they're all excuses, though. Winged monsters don't exist. It's just your brain desperately trying not to focus on what's important. The sudden scream chills your blood. And silence takes over everything. Uh-oh. I wonder... Nah, that looks kind of like what we told him it would look like, but I don't think the art would change every time. Based off our terrible sketch. Chapter 5, Holt. Have you met Lee? Tall guy with the blonde girl? He made 0 graphic copies of some docs I've used to assemble this beauty. Where'd you get the docs from? You bite your lower lip. Do all writers ask so many questions? Lee works at the university in the history department. Lou adjusts his glasses. You don't know why, but that gesture irritates you. The Winans doesn't work like a normal machine gun. Normal machine guns use gunpowder to fire projectiles. You know what the Winans uses? Centrifugal force. Interesting. Lou repeats the gesture with the glasses. Today, Lee brought me some ketchum grenades. Do you know about ketchum grenades? Lou shakes his head and readjusts his glasses for the third time in less than 5 minutes. You take a deep breath. Let's tell him about the ketchum grenades. Although you can't stand Lou Refill Hill's tick, you enjoy talking about your collection of Civil War weapons. Ketchums are similar to footballs in shape. They have to land on their nose to explode. They were highly inefficient in Port Hudson, for example. The Confederates used sheets to catch them without exploding, and then threw them back at Union soldiers. Lou's about to say something when you hear a scream that makes your blood run cold. You grab the shotgun without thinking twice. It's coming from the back, come on! You don't have a good feeling about it. Something's not right. Trent, no! Oh my goodness. Although it feels like a dream, somehow you know. The creature is real. Your dog's suffering is real. And there'll be no waking up from this. Let's run to Trent. You hear the muffled moans of your dog, and the fury blinds you. You drop the shotgun and grab onto the chain. Son of a bitch is gonna strangle Trent! Let's pull a chain. You pull with all your strength. For a moment you think you're getting somewhere, but you feel the pull. And the floor disappears under your feet. Let's hold on. Although you manage to hold on for a few minutes, you finally let go and fall into the thick of the forest. Tree branches penetrate your body and you die before reaching the ground. Alright. Release the chain. Hold! know you should hit the floor soon. Victoria. Don't move. Listen to Vic, Holt. Her sister's a nurse. No bones seem to be broken. My dog. Victoria and Lee help you to your feet. Lou doesn't take his eyes off the winged creature for a single second. He let go. He just let go. What? 1 second. I know where your dog is, Holt. Wait a minute. Got something in the car. Let's go. A gift from Freddy. Cool, right? Does everybody have guns in this game? You try to get up, but you feel dizzy and stumble. Victoria gives Lee a disapproving look and helps you keep your balance. Follow her. Or me. Follow me. Thanks. You would have liked to smile at her. After all, Victoria just wants to help. But I could do it by myself. You get your rifle and walk with the rest into the blackness of the forest. We should go in. That direction. No. I think we should go that way. Lee? Now what? The place where the Trent fell. The Trent. The place where Trent fell. Sorry for all my mistakes here. I'm trying to go too quick. I've calculated it by projecting the point where the creature dropped it on this map. You've calculated? You've calculated, you say? Weren't you a writer? Lou, don't mind him. Do what you want. Constantly checking the map, Lou leads the group on. We should be close. There! Your heart is pounding. Please. Compress his chest. Use both hands just like that. How curious. Did you know that the cardiopulmonary resuscitation procedure was discovered by Dr. Knickerbocker while he was trying to save a dog? As he speaks, Lou carefully examines the tops of the trees. It was at Johns Hopkins University. Victoria rests her hand on yours and moves her head from side to side. You stop pressing, and a few tears roll down your cheek. The interesting thing is what happened to the dog afterwards. Oh, Lou, read the room. Yeah, let's let him finish. Shut it, Lou! Lou adjusts his glasses. You look at Victoria. You are too afraid your voice would break to say thank you. Why'd you run when it had Trent by the neck? Why didn't you try to blow its brains out? Deep down, you know that's just the guilt talking. And that maybe there was nothing you could have done differently to save him. Victoria. Lee, have you seen Lee? You stand up and look around. Lee's gone. Lee, Chapter 6. You walk faster to keep your thoughts at bay. What the hell is wrong with her? Why does she even listen to him? Writer, says the... What a loser. You walk through the woods, confident that you will be the one to find Holt's dog. They already found it. What then, Vic? What weird little face will you make? Uh-oh. Glinty eyes in the woods. Hello? You feel like someone is watching you. You're walking through a dense forest area where the darkness is almost total. You walk even faster than before. Finally, you reach a clearing and look at the sky. The meteor shower is gaining intensity. Your heart is in anguish and you find it hard to breathe. Are you watching the Leonids, Victoria? Are you? You hold your head in your hands. Yeah, let's do it. The last time you cried like this, you were 16. You'd come home early and found him hitting your mother. You tried to separate them, and your father took it out on your ribs. His blows were like a rain of sledgehammers, and his breath reeked of alcohol. He pushed you against the wall, and you ended up on the floor. Your mom was clutching her head when your dad took a deep breath and kicked you in the stomach. Won't hit you in the face because it's the only thing you got going for you. And one day you won't have it anymore. You carry your father's photo in your wallet not to remember how good he looked? Hell no. Whenever the pain was too much, you'd scratch his entire face until his features blended with the cuts on the paper. What the? You seem to hear something, a kind of rumor. You think of the noise hands make when they shake the dust off an old volume. A river? You try to think about the map you've got in the car. You can't remember seeing a river here. Further west, sure, but here? As you get closer, you hear it more clearly. You feel a kind of calm. Not peace, but numbness. Suddenly, the whitest light you've ever seen floods the ground. Even when there's no river nearby, the sound is deafening. What? You feel the light pulse with painful intensity. As if millions and millions of red ants were sinking their little jaws into your skin. Pain turns into light. You want to scream, but you have no mouth, nor larynx, or lungs. And the white that precedes everything consumes you. You don't know how long it takes. You feel the urgency of what is yet to be, and white makes you desperate. You feel the white light leaving your body, and you hear your own voice screaming at the top of your lungs. You drop to the floor and cover your head with both hands. You're filled with a sense of completeness that you cannot explain. We all need a little darkness. Victoria. Chapter 7. Lee! Where's that idiot? Calm down, Victoria. Lee knows how to take care of himself. Like, how well do you know him? Holt's right. Lee's going to show up eventually. Did you know that he chased away a pack of coyotes with screams, some stones, and a blow on the hood of his car? A blow. Like we're talking like old-fashioned words for it now. Wouldn't it be like, you hit the hood? Lou smiles. You wonder if it's authentic or a calculated gesture to show some empathy. Holt. What? What's your business with Lee? Holt looks at you for a few seconds before answering. You think of one of the computers at the campus, the IBM 7040. You know what it's called because you once wrote a poem with that title. IBM 7040. The haiku. Holt is like the computer. From the outside, it's impossible to tell what it's evaluating before giving you an answer. I shouldn't tell you anything. Holt lowers his voice. But you shut Lou up back there, and I'm going to make an exception. Holt tells you about Lee's business, the sale of original Civil War pieces, the xerographic copies of historical documents. Don't worry, he knows what he's doing. You hear twigs snapping. Oh, we're lined up. Who's there? Grandma? It's just turned into Evil Dead there, or Army of Darkness. The sight of Holt's grandmother holding an old rifle mesmerizes you. The whole thing looks like an image from some Wyeth painting. A wet dream for almost any of your classmates. An image that not only defies gender stereotypes, but also demolishes social constructs like that of grandma in classic stories. The expression on Holt's grandmother's face changes. Her features soften. I don't have any pupils. My legs. Grandma? Holt picks up his grandma and helps her sit against a tree trunk. He looks at his dog's corpse and beckons you to come closer. I need to bury Trent before carrying on. You nod your head. How do you feel, ma'am? Confused. Here, Victoria. You didn't hear him approach. You grab the handkerchief without thinking twice. A strange feeling runs through your body. Shouldn't you have at least considered some other option? Clean up her legs. You rub the handkerchief against her calves and gradually remove the mud stains. Scrub harder. I was probably your age when I stopped feeling my legs. Holt's grandmother sighs and closes her eyes. Have you ever seen so many moles together? Lou speaks almost in whispers. You wonder why? Let's go. Lou picks up the old rifle and examines it briefly. Holt looks at you with an expression you can't quite make out. Are you okay? No, you're not okay. But what are you going to tell him? That you're pregnant? That your boyfriend is missing? That winged creatures out of old pulp magazines are apparently more than just fiction? You walk for a while in silence. What was? Try to think of something else, Victoria. A few minutes ago, you all started hearing the screams, noticing sudden movements in the treetops. We're almost there. You find it hard to believe what you're seeing. Why are all these creatures flying over the gas station? Interesting. Holt punches Lou in the shoulder. What? Interesting? Did you find it interesting what they did to Trent? We're not in one of your cheap books, Lou. A sudden silence befalls the group. Let's suggest a plan. Listen. No, you just cover me. You close your fist tightly, trying to exercise the impotence you feel. Was it that hard for him to hear what you had to say? You shake your head from side to side. What's even the plan, running with his grandma in his arms? Why does he have to be the hero? Victoria. Holt! The shriek chills your blood. Look. Lou looks at you as if waiting for something. How many bullets in your rifle? 3. Hope it's enough. Holt and Elsie are halfway to the gas station. 2 winged creatures on the street lamps. I see them. The light, Victoria. I just realized Lou's picture kind of reminds me of River City Ransom or something like that. That old game for Nintendo. These creatures seek the light. Tell Lou to take aim. So will we get a death animate? Let's try. Let's just run. Yeah. You try to reach the building, but the winged creatures rush at you. The pain blurs your vision and you lose consciousness. Retry. Alright. Tell Lou to take aim. Well, I mean, I'm assuming... Yeah, that's the grandmother and them in the middle, right? So, let's shoot the one on the right closest to us, you know? 3, 2, 1. You have 2 bullets left. Alright. Okay. Tell Lou how to aim for the center lamp on the right. Well, let's just go in order and see what happens. 3, 2, 1. The winged creature flies to the farthest pole, and it does so over Holt and Elsie's heads. Desperate, you run to help. The winged creature rushes at you. The pain blurs your vision. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, so does it work up on the right and then go to the left? Let's try something different here. Farthest on the right. Shoot. 3, 2, 1. Is he going to fly across? Okay, so he moved down. So what happens if I do the closest one? What happens now? Is he going to go up and... So, I don't know. I guess we'll just shoot the one on the right again. Okay. So I don't really understand what's going on here, so let's try this again. Okay, tell Lou to take aim. Let's try the same thing we did last time. The farthest one on the right. Okay. We'll shoot the closest one again, and then instead we'll shoot at the far left and see if that does anything. Alright, tell Lou to take aim on the left. Oh shit. Too far away. Okay. So maybe I'm stupid, but I don't really get. So if you shoot it twice, they fly across. So what happens if you shoot the, let's try this. Not too sure what they're going for with this one. Alright, tell Lou to take aim. For the farthest on their... Yeah, that's... Will that make them fly across? I don't know if I did this one already. Okay, well, we can't hit the far one, so... Is he gonna fly over his head? Okay, so... But if we can't hit the far left because it's too far, I wonder if... Let's just... I'm not going to talk through this whole thing. We're just going to try it, see what works. It's not that complicated. I just don't understand. So you can't move up ahead. Alright. I'm sure somebody's watching this right now and saying, "Idiot, this is what you do." So, what happens if you shoot the center of the lamp? The center lamp, sorry. Oh, I wonder if... Okay, tell Lou to take... Maybe they're attracted to the light. Two creatures fight, take flight, and get lost in the night. So that's what it was. They were attracted to the light in the middle. This made it so they, you know, fought over the same perch. Run to Elsie and Holt. Let's do it. And it took us longer than it should have, probably. All clear! Help me with Holt and Elsie, and let's inside, fast. Is someone going to make a wish? You laugh under your breath. You look at Holt, and he looks away. You wonder if he's pissed because you saved him. You still can't believe everything that happened tonight. You know that as soon as you stop to think, you touch your belly and fight back the tears. Lou looks at his watch. The Leonids are reaching their point of highest intensity. The screeching is deafening. Freaking creatures! I think I saw one in a dream. Lou's about to add something but suddenly falls silent. You approach the window and rest your hand on the glass. You can't stop looking at their dance. Before meeting Lee, you'd had some experiences in college. Experiences by which you sought to open the doors of your perception. Lee doesn't know, and you don't know how he would react if he found out. But the strange dance of these creatures in the sky beats anything you experienced while tripping. I don't know if you can hear me over this squealing music. Holt, Chapter 8. They call them the Javaro of the hills. What he did lacked a ritual component. It had nothing to do with the taxidermy business, even less with mummification. His shrunken animal heads were art, sold as collector's pieces. One afternoon, Liam, his only nephew, stole a bear head. The head had been emptied of viscera and was floating in a solution his uncle used in the early stages of the miniaturization process. Liam lifted the head out of the bucket, wiped it dry, and put it on like a helmet. He stripped naked, left the house, and ran into the village. Liam entered the church in the middle of Mass, screaming at the top of his lungs, waving his arms up and down as if he were clawing. One of the congregation members pulled out a gun and shot him. You remember the sheer terror you felt when you saw the bear man running towards the altar. This is worse. Ugh. Worse? Worse than what? Let's tell him about Liam. You tell him the story of Liam and his uncle, the Javaro of the Hills. Somehow you feel safe telling them stories from the past. As for what's on the other side of the window, this fear can't be any more present. Got some clippings from the case. Liam's story was an unfortunate event. It explains what happened to him, but it also provided an all-too-easy explanation for other sightings in the area. The dog man, the owl woman, many people told me stories about similar creatures in the moose. Lou adjusts his glasses. Lou Refill Hill. You think I don't know what they call me in town? It may be true that some people make up stuff to get a beer, but imaginations have limits, and in the long run we tend to rely on real experiences when telling a story. Mothmen. They're somehow related to the Leonids and the gathering of all these creatures. Maybe he's right, and all the creatures outside started to appear after the aerial dance of these Mothmen. Ask why Mothmen. Mothmen? Why the name? Moths are attracted to light. You look at the sky illuminated by dozens and dozens of shooting stars and you nod. You like the name? Not because of Lou's explanation, but because you know it's easy to squash them off. This isn't the first time that Mothmen have appeared during the Leonids. Ask what he means. Among some other references, they're mentioned in the oral histories of the Ojibwe. Collected in the Diary of Jesuit Missionaries in 1683, who even dares to draw them? Many believe that the creatures described in this diary are thunderbirds, but the Jesuits' drawings look much more like Mothmen. And the most interesting part is that he draws lines around them. Some researchers think that these lines are kinetic, a way of representing the speed of the creatures. Lou slides a finger across the glass following the trajectory of a shooting star in the sky. But I think these drawings depict Mothmen with the Leonids in the background. We're talking 1633, 1666 maybe? Check on your grandma. Grandma's looking rough. Grandma? Better? What are those shrieks, love? Oh, I didn't do the grandma voice. It's painful for you to see how confused she is. 1 second. You turn on the radio. Static. Oh, let's go right. No matter which way you turn the dial, all you hear is static. I only turned it right. You'd never sung at the Moose. Not even on those nights when everyone egged you on and the booze in your system had drowned your inhibitions. Almost without realizing it, you start singing the lullaby Elsie used to sing to make you sleep. Although more than 40 years have passed, the words come to your mind one after the other. You close your eyes and caress her hair, singing all the time. As soon as you feel the rhythmic breathing of your grandmother, you get up. What was that? Looking worn out and tired? Lee? Victoria tries to hug Lee while he babbles something you don't understand. At no time does he look up. Where the hell have you been? Victoria? I thought, but he's here. Give him some space. Thank you. Lee takes a few seconds to start speaking. I think I got lost in the forest. Babe, take it easy. Victoria grabs his arm and Lee tries to smile. I thought I heard the sound of a river, and I felt someone looking at me. After walking for a while, the noise was deafening, but there was no river. Lee starts to cry. Victoria tries to calm him down. As soon as he regains his composure, Lee keeps talking. And then came the white. I don't know how to explain it. It was as if I could see everything and nothing at the same time. And a goat looked up to the sky to watch the shooting stars. It stood on 2 legs, like this, you know? Just like us. What the hell's going on? Did he walk past all these and not notice them? I think the time has come. Let me tell you a few things. Lou clears his throat and begins to speak. Although you can't stand his tics or his false dramatics, you want to know what's going on. The Leonids occur every 33 years. Some are intense like those of 1833, or the ones in 1866. Others are weak, in 1899, for example. And those are the ones we have records of. You notice that Victoria grabs Lee's hand. Lou walks over to the window and points to the sky. This year, they're intense again. 1866, 1966. Why a 100-year difference and not 99? That 1 year discrepancy bothers me too. And I think it has to do with the problems of our calendar and the periodic adjustments that we are forced to make. You talk about daylight savings then? Tell me, have you ever seen a medieval manuscript? No one answers. Just as you're about to open your mouth, Lou continues. They're usually adorned with warrior rabbits standing on 2 legs. Do you think these rabbits came from the imaginations of medieval scribes alone? Those rabbits existed, and they were annihilated by man. Each meteor shower spawns new bipeds, and it was in one of these storms that mankind arose. What makes us different from all of them is that we survived, by destroying any other biped that came along, or by reducing them to the realm of gossip or fiction. Outside, the creatures begin to fight. Why? What motivates them? And what about Lou? Should you believe everything he says? After all, Lou is a writer. Your grandma's cough sounds like the noise of a tractor's engine refusing to start. Grandma? You have to kill them all! The voice with which she speaks seems to come from much further back than her throat. We had a secret weapon, and we would use it to finish off the upright beasts. But they decided to test it in the war. Elsie? What are you talking about? I wanted to take the Winans from the battlefield. And they... Your grandma caresses her legs. I just want to finish the mission. Victoria and Lee look at each other. Lou walks up to you and tells you almost in a whisper. I bet the moles on your grandma's legs correspond exactly to her grandpa's wounds. Lou speaks softly, but his words resonate loudly in your head. The moles on your grandmother's legs, her grandfather's legs riddled by bullets in the Civil War? Could it be that Elsie's grandfather was talking to you through your grandmother's body? The Winans? The Winans! A project that has obsessed you for a long time, and now you think you know why. You decide not to think too much about Elsie, her grandfather, the moles, the men in black. Your chewed up card. You're terrified that behind all your decisions, something more than your own free will was at work. Come on. The Winans! Quick, let's get her out! No. It's still not working. What do you mean it's not working? It has some kind of safety mechanism, and I still haven't been able to assemble it successfully. Holt. Here, see? The L's! You look at Lou with curiosity. On the blueprints there. Those L's are the rubric of a secret society founded in the middle of the last century. It's not so secret if you know about it, is it? Lou doesn't answer you. Why the L? Some say it's because of the way the knight moves on the chessboard. Others say it's because of Lewis Carroll, the author of Alice in Wonderland? Exactly. Let them keep talking. Lou closes his eyes, holds a hand to the bridge of his nose, and clears his throat. Can this guy be any more affected? A stick I found that weighed 2 pounds. I sawed it up one day, in pieces 8 of equal weight. How much did each piece weigh? Everybody says 1/4 pound, which is wrong. A riddle at this moment? Victoria strokes her chin and Lee nods his head slightly, as if he's counting something. Do you think it's time for a riddle, Lou? Lou raises his hands and moves aside. You take a deep breath. It shouldn't be that hard to find the right configuration. Alright. Let's see here. What am I rotating? I can't even tell here. Alright, let's just rotate one from the first row. Oh, jeez. Okay. I have a feeling that... let's try that. Rotate the piece from the second row. Okay, back. Rotate a piece from the first row, first piece. I don't know if this has got like more than one option, but we'll see. The second piece now. Let's go with left, left. Okay, back. Rotate a piece from the first row, third. I'm just trying to match up the colors. I don't know if it'll work. Yeah, that'll be fine, I guess. Well, it doesn't even look like it works, eh? You know what? I think that I don't know. Let's see here. I think there's probably only one way it can go. So that's are they all? Oh, they're all L's. Okay. So let's see here. So it's not green. Let's try this. Okay, so it's not that one. Let's try the green one. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll give it a shot. Should have went right. Okay, that makes it look like an L finally. First row, second piece. There we go. Okay, do I think I might be on the right track here? All right. Okay, so yeah, they look like L's now, finally. Examine pieces, second row, second piece. Good. Second row, third piece. And now we want to rotate left. There we go. And we'll go examine pieces, third row, first piece. We want to go right and right. Good. Third row, second piece, left one. Oh, should have been right. There we go. And we'll go. Is that? Oh, I think we're good. All right. Test pieces on the machine gun. The mechanism locks into place with a click. Although outside the creature's shouts are getting louder, you can't help but feel a certain happiness. The Winans is finally complete. Now everybody, out! Elsie stands next to the Winans holding a rifle. Jeez, what's going on here? Like we saw little Granny up there, and we got the guy in the huge gun. All right. Lee, Lou, and Victoria stand back a little. Excuse me. You crack your knuckles and take a deep breath. At the helm of the Winan steam-powered machine gun, you feel something strange. You find it hard to put it into words. It's as if somehow the present has given way to the past. Okay. Rabbit Man! They are weak creatures. Cannon fodder in the war against the upright beasts. So would it be my right? Or the character's right? So let's aim to the right. Okay, it's my right. Okay, left. There we go. Shoot. Aim to the center. Shoot. All right, so we want to aim to the right to get both of them. Nice. Aim to the left. Aim to the center. Is Grandma going to help me shoot with her rifle or what? Okay. Beware of the dogmen. They're behind the rabbit men. The dogmen are more resistant than the rabbit men. And if you hurt them without killing them, they get mad. Well, I mean, the only thing we can do is aim to the center, right? So, let's see what happens. Okay. Eat this bullet! I'm here to cover you, but don't get too confident. I can kill one upright beast, and then I need to reload. Alright, what's that on the right that was just going away? Hey! Where are you going? Let's aim to the right here first, I guess. See what happens. Ah! Alright, let's aim to the center. Because she needs a second to reload, right? So I wonder if that means that we... Yeah! Aim to the left. I think I might have screwed up. We'll see. Yeah, I think I did. Oh, I didn't. Okay, cool. The two men and the woman. Gone. Deserters. Well, I think we need her help for a minute, so stay shooting bipeds. You take a deep breath and try to focus. And those creatures over there. Mothmen! If you manage to wound them without killing them, they go crazy and run like a stampede. You can take advantage of them to generate a chain effect. So I guess that means if we shoot the right ones, he's going to charge through all of them, but... I don't know, just for the heck of it, let's shoot these ones first. Oh, okay. Beast attack while Elsie tries to reload the rifle and the machine gun cools down. Although you try to defend yourself, the jaws of a creature closes around your neck and you bleed to death. Alright, let's shoot the far right first then. Alright, aim to the right. Let's see if he, I thought that would be too obvious to shoot the one the most, but we'll see. That worked out nice. Okay. Ah! Alright, shoot. So he literally, he wipes people out. Ah! Aimed at the right. There's the big Mothman, or Owlman. Owlman! Resist like Dogmen or Moosemen. But if you hurt them without killing them, they fly to the front. So be careful. Let's aim to the left and shoot the moose again. See if that works. Ah! Uh-oh. Let's try it again. So we got one turn on the left. So does it matter which row? Let's just shoot the right row then. Alright. Okay. What am I missing here? What's the difference between shooting the center and, shooting the right side? It looks like the exact same lineup, but... Alright, let's try the right. Alright, so yeah, I think we have to shoot the center one, because I think if the moose hits him, he won't die. Can we send her to look for the rest now and shoot the last row? You shake your head from one side to the other. You know that Lou is the first to leave, and the helplessness eats you up inside. Go look for them! But, if we're going to fight here, we fight all together. Did I do something wrong there? Alright, Chapter 9, Lee. I don't want to keep running away. I should be out there. And win my Red Badge of Courage. The Red Badge of Courage is the title of that Civil War novel you read and reread over and over again. It tells you the story of a Union soldier who flees the battlefield. From that first act of cowardice, the only thing that the protagonist longs for is to receive a war wound. The definitive proof that he had become a man. Your red badge of courage? You want a real red badge of courage, Lee? I'm pregnant. Your head spins. You find it difficult to organize your thoughts. You were going to be a father? You think of your own father, of all your suffering. I don't know if... I'm a coward, Vic. Lee, did you know that Stephen Crane wrote Red Badge of Courage without ever having set foot on a real battlefield? The first time you saw Lou, you wanted to twist his arm and bring him to his knees. Now you smile and put an arm on his shoulder. Thanks, Lou. Come out and fight! None of you move. Out, I said! My red badge of courage. Lee, don't. I guess pull? Why not? You pull. Elsie rotates her shoulders and stumbles. The rifle points at the ceiling. Let's push now. You push. Elsie loses her balance. The rifle points at her body. Let's push again. You push and you hear a shot. Oh, geez. It wasn't Holt's grandmother, Lee. Your hands are shaking. You didn't fire the rifle. However, somehow you had been able to feel the different endings. You knew that in one of them, Elsie would be shot, and yet you didn't stop. She's alive! They shot me! The resilience of the possessed. You don't know why you're surprised. After all, Holt's grandmother is possessed by her own grandfather, a soldier who fought in the Civil War and was mowed down by a machine gun. The same machine gun whose bursts you now hear outside the gas station. Tearing apart creatures not mentioned in any biology textbooks. Eat bullets, you son of a bitches! Chapter 10, Victoria. No! You don't think about it too much. As Holt fires the Winans machine gun, you run as fast as you can. If you want to survive, you have to get away from him there. The only word you can think of to describe what you see is pandemonium. And not only in the traditional sense, a place of noise and confusion, but in the original sense of the word, the place where all demons congregate. Lee tries to make himself heard over the gunfire and the shrieks of the creatures. To your left, Vic! You feel jaws closing not far from your neck, so you gotta do this quick. You try to run faster. Get down! You duck down and feel the claws of a creature graze the back of your neck. You keep running. Right! A pig man tries to grab your arm, but you manage to get away. You're almost there. You get in the car and slam the door shut. You hear a knock and you jump in your seat. Let's go! Let's go! Lee speeds up, and the pandemonium is soon behind you. You think about Lee's previous car. What a clunker. And now you know how Lee managed to buy a car like this one. Holt told you. Poor Holt. The Leonids, upright beast, intrafamilial possession, experimental weapons, the Order of the Elves, Men in Black, and Mothmen. There they are, the topics of my next book. You touch your belly. With all that you suffered tonight, Lou's comment seems a bit inappropriate. You travel in silence for a few minutes. Are you all right, Lee? You look a little pale. Lee takes a few seconds to answer. I don't know. Lee scratches his head. I can see things before they happen, Vic. Lou leans forward. It's not that I see the future. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I can see several presents just before they happen. Come on, babe. Victoria? What you're saying, Lee, have you felt it since the episode you told us with the white light? Lee's hands are tightly clasped on the steering wheel. It's not like I can control it. The first time I felt it was in the struggle with Elsie, and the second when we were running to the car. Lee looks you in the eyes and suddenly you can feel all his pain. And some of the presents, the creatures, Vic? Lee's voice breaks. The creatures, and he begins to cry. We'll comfort him. Let's lay a hand on Lee's shoulder. You feel him gradually calming down with the contact. He rests his head on your hand and you stroke his cheek. After a few minutes, you remove your hand and settle back in your seat. You look for Lou in the rearview mirror and see him jotting something in his notebook. Lou seems to always be writing in one way or another. You envy his tenacity, and you wonder if maybe that's what it takes to be a writer. Lee steps on the brakes and opens the door on his side. Wait here. What happened? Can you see anything from there? You shake your head. Here he comes. Goat baby? It's hurt, Vic. Although neither of you say anything, you think you know what you had to do. Lee kisses you on the mouth and starts the car. In the back seat, Lou clears his throat. I don't want to be anticlimactic, but the demonization of the god Pan, Satan as a male goat. You do know that there are different records throughout history of bloody wars against goat men, don't you? The end. Alrighty. So that was okay. Not a giant fan of it, but they did a pretty good job. Like you can tell, it's probably not a whole bunch of budget that went into it. It's a decent enough story. You know, the mini games were not too complicated, and I'm sure there's variations to the ending or maybe parts of the story, but I'm just not interested to go back to it. But there are two others in this series. I believe there's the one called Varney Lake, and then the other one called the Blazon Knights. I might try those ones. 8 years later, let's see what happens. Oh, it's the men. And Lee with his little daughter. And a goat reading a book up in the bedroom. All right, so let's check out the gallery here. Sort the shelves, survive the coyote attack, seeing a weak creature. So I didn't make the accurate drawing. I didn't make, okay, lose with 25 or more cards to go. Answer properly to an unheard question. Okay, yeah, these are achievements, I'm guessing. Listen about the L's. Survive all the cryptid waves. I could have did that. Okay, so. And I'm kind of curious. Nah, not really. I guess you can go back and play this over and over if you're bored and try to figure it out. But overall, not a bad game. It was fun, and I'd say it's a little bit on the expensive side, but they did go with it, and I like the art style. All right, have a great day, and thank you for watching my video.